Namaskar दोस्तों, welcome to channel Toxicology on board. Today in this video we'll be discussing another important topic, DABT topic, that is contact urticaria. Let's directly dive into the question. This question was taken from ABT recertification examination May 12, 2000. From this question paper, this question was taken. Let's see what is the question. The question is contact urticaria is characteristic of option A, mistletoe. This is mistletoe. Option B is crocus sativa. Option C is pokeweed. Option D is needle, and option E is poison ivy. Okay, these are the five options. The right answer will be in green text. That is option D, needles. Okay, so what is the, let's see the basic explanation which is given about contact urticaria. So let us understand what is this contact urticaria. Contact urticaria is a skin reaction and a wheal and flare that occurs when the skin comes in contact with the specific substance. When any chemical is there, when it is coming in contact with the skin surface, a wheal and flare kind of reaction will be formed. That is contact urticaria. It is triggered by substances that cause either, there are three types are there, either immediate or non-allergic reaction, non-immunological or allergic, that is immune mediated reaction, immunological. Okay, I'll explain that in the next slide. Symptoms include rash, itching, swelling and burning. All these four are localized only on the surface of the exposure. Okay, and sometimes that particular chemical can reach into your systemic circulation. At that time it might cause difficulty in breathing, anaphylaxis in the case, in severe cases. Along with this topic about contact urticaria, we will be reading particularly in lesson chapter 19, toxic responses of the skin. This is the chapter, and you have to read all these pages in the textbook where it has come across this word contact urticaria. So you read all these important pages, 29. I have listed all the pages so that it will be very useful at the time of your exam. But specifically, we will concentrate on page number 966 and 967 in this particular video. Okay, so let's very briefly understand the causes and the types of this contact urticaria. As I said, no, it is non-immunological, immunological, and there are certain types which are because there is no proper mechanism established. In case of non-immunological, occurs immediately after contact with a certain substance. The origin of the substance might be anything, plant, animal, mineral, like that, such as cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, even raw meat. There is a case with respect to red meat where it is causing contact urticaria. So read in detail about it, and is the direct reaction to the substance. Okay, there is no immune system involved, either type 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Immunological system is not involved. Okay, coming to second type, that is immunological, in which type 1, this type of contact urticaria is type 1 hypersensitivity. See, I already told about hypersensitivity. Four types are there, type 1, 2, 3, 4. Nowadays, some fifth one is also there. So, in the type 1, this is hypersensitivity reaction, contact urticaria. And examples are allergies to natural rubber latex. So, lot of medical surgeons, doctors who are using this latex gloves, no, they have this contact article. So many articles and publications are there. Even in the lesson, no, there is separate paragraph they have discussed about this allergy to this particular latex types of gloves. So read in detail. So one question you might get from that area also. Some antibiotics, like there is certain in the towards the end of this video, there is a table list of all the chemicals as well as pharmaceuticals also which are causing this contact urticaria. I have given. In that you will come across penicillin, streptomycin, azithromycin, such antibiotics also are there which are causing contact urticaria, and certain metals like nickel. As I already told, always read about the metals. So one question they might ask you, which of the following metals will cause contact urticaria? Then you have to remember nickel is the answer. Okay. The next, unknown mechanism, because we don't know what is the exact mechanism through which it is causing this contact urticaria. Okay, so this is what the immune mediated complex formation will be there. No, these are the antibodies which go and bind to the cell surface receptor. Allergen will go and bind to this Y chain link. Okay, so degranulation, release of the mast cells, histamines will be taking place at the site of exposure of that particular chemical. So all these things you have to remember. Coming to symptoms, we have localized reaction, generalized reaction, systemic reaction, and other potential systems. So let us understand localized reaction. As I told you here, like wheal or flare will be formed. Wheal means a bulb-like structure will be formed, and flare redness around that particular exposed area. Reaction appears at the site of contact, characterized by raised, red and itchy or burning swelling. Coming to generalized reaction, spread beyond the contact area, like in this case. Okay, exposure is here, but entire area will be start showing the reactions. So spread beyond the contact area, causing hives. Hives means here you can see over other parts of the body. Coming to systemic reaction, this happens in severe cases, especially with an immunological cause. Symptoms include lip swelling, okay, hoarseness, here nausea, vomiting, even anaphylaxis. Okay, other potential symptoms are burning and stinging sensation, peeling. Certain times skin peeling will happen. Cracking of the skin can also occur. These are comes under symptoms. So let's see what is the diagnosis and treatment for this contact urticaria. Coming to diagnosis, how you are doing could do primarily based on person's history. Once a patient comes, that particular medical practitioner or the emergency department physician should ask him about the patient history. Okay, and and clinical presentation of symptoms after contact with suspected substance. What are the symptoms you have to see? Why we need to have a clinical history means, particularly when it is immune mediated reactions are there. First exposure, the person will not show any reaction, but subsequent second exposure, because already antigens antibodies have been activated in your body, second exposure severe type of reaction might be there. For that reason, patient history is important, and also class specific also. If a particular a patient is exposed to one type of category of a chemical, if he is exposed to the same class of chemical or same category of chemical, there is a chance of getting this type of anaphylactic reaction. So patient history, class specific effect, all these things also you have to remember. Then open patch testing. The diagnostic is where a substance is applied to the skin. The reaction is observed 15 to 30 minutes. That is a diagnostic tool that you have to remember. Open patch tester. Okay. Coming to treatment, best thing is, once you know this is the source of allergy and this is the person exposed to this particular chemical, is the first thing is getting away from that exposure. You have to avoid the exposure to certain allergen. Okay, avoid the triggering substance. Avoid, the most important treatment is to avoid the triggering substance. Okay, second one is, for a severe reaction, immediate medical attention is crucial. Yes, medical support is very important. Medication may be prescribed to manage the symptoms also, right? Coming to occupational and food contact, occupational exposure such as from the healthcare workers and food handlers are common triggers. As I said, no, the persons who are medical practitioners who are wearing these latex gloves, food handlers, exposure to raw foods like tomato, onions, and fish is the frequent cause. So there are sources of food also which are causing this type of contact urticaria. That also in a question you might get them. Okay. Then this is the important paragraph which has been discussed under Clayson. As I told you, under the chapter toxic responses of the skin, page number 967. So next 2 to 3 slides will only discuss about this particular paragraph which has been mentioned in the textbook, so that we will not avoid any question, any answer if it comes in our exam. The skin is the capable not only of, there are two types of the delayed type of hypersensitive reaction which is involving T cells, and IgE mediated type of reaction which is causing it allergic contact urticaria. So we have type 1, 2, 3, 4. Type 1 is the one which is IgE mediated, that you have to remember. You have, when it comes to hypersensitivity reaction, I told you to remember which of the following are immediate, which of the following are T cell mediated, which are the one which are causing cytotoxic. These are the questions definitely examiner will ask. For those allergens to which IgE antibody have been elicited, so there are two types of first exposure by previous or ongoing systemic or topical exposure. Subsequent next exposure is through cutaneous or systemic contact can lead to development of hives will be there. Okay, typically in minutes through an immediate, for example, gel and Coombs type 1 hypersensitive reaction. So two exposures are there: prior previous exposure, subsequent exposure. Okay, hives are raised wheals that usually itch or sting and appear reddish in color. Symptoms of this allergic contact urticarias are degranulation of this cutaneous mast cells induced by this IgE to the receptor on the cell surface, leading to release of this histamine and other vasoactive substances at the site. Okay, food allergies and pharmaceuticals are the major causes of this allergic contact urticaria. Some agents are opiates. Again, you have to remember morphine, whatever there is there. Direct release of this, so without mediation of any antibody mediation, they can direct release the histamines at the from the mast cells. And coming to other type of drugs like NSAID class of drugs, what do it through arachidonic acid mechanism or other uncertain mechanism for which the mechanism has not been established. So in continuation of this contact urticaria only, generally this it will last for 6 weeks. Okay, not attributable to allergen exposure, frequently as an autoimmune basis, development of this auto antibody to high infinity of this IgE receptors. Okay, true urticaria will disappear within hours. After the exposure, within hours it has to get, or maximum by one day it has to disappear. A hive persisting in given location longer than, if some hive is there and it is more than 24 hours, okay, then it is non-urticarial process, such as the mechanism might be vasculitis. Lifetime prevalence of this urticaria has been estimated to be 9%, of which only nearly 2% occurs repeated exposure chronically. Okay, contact urticaria can arise from cutaneous exposure to the plant, animal, or other protein sources, allergic, but can have a non-allergic basis. So in table 19.9, they have given the list of all the chemicals as well as origin through which they might exposure to those which might cause this contact urticaria. So we'll discuss that in detail. And allergic contact urticaria appears more commonly in atopic individuals, means those who are genetically susceptible individuals will be there, no? The genetic predisposition will be there, no? For them it is different. Among certain occupational groups, for example, food workers, due to proteins in food, there are certain people who are handling these food products, and medical professional due to, I keep on saying about this natural rubber latex proteins in the case of gloves. Coming in continuation, this contact urticaria only, as opposed to the accelerators. Here, accelerators, carbamates, theorems, all this, no, these are used in the vulcanization of rubber, all these things, and antioxidants. So this is an derivatives which will cause delayed type of hypersensitivity. And the latex rubber gloves only, no, these are the ones which are responsible for causing those contact urticaria. Those are nothing but hevein proteins. So I have listed also. And see, the important thing you have to read, they have also caused life threatening reactions and deaths in some individuals following cutaneous or mucosal exposure. Okay, so they used to be have this epidemic type of latex hypersensitivity. Okay, so additionally, so nowadays what they are doing is, these manufacturers who are preparing these gloves, no, they are avoiding, they are eliminating these highly allergenic hevein proteins. What are those? HEV B1, B3, B5, as well as B6.02. So nowadays in those, they are trying to eliminate these in the preparation of these gloves, which are found in the case of natural rubber latex. Okay, other contact urticarians result in massive IgE mediated release vasoactive substances. Certain foods I told you, know, nuts, fish, and shellfish, pharmaceuticals, penicillins, cephalosporins, sulfonamides, macrolides, vancomycin, tetracycline, fluoroquinolones. All these things are also causing this contact urticaria. And insect allergens, sting of bees and wasps, these are also causing anaphylactic response. So all these examples you have to remember. They might ask you in the exam. So these are the list which is given in the Clayson chapter number 19, page number 961, sorry, 967. They have given the substances which will elicit this contact urticaria. They have given chemically defined and chemically undefined. Under this chemically defined, most of them are either pharmaceuticals or maybe pesticides like that. So you try to remember. I can't name out all the thing, but you see, for example, BHT, you remember. Even aspirin, acetyl salicylic acid is causing. There are certain antibiotics like ampicillin, bacitracin, okay, benzocaine. Again, it might be a solvent. Okay, citric anhydride, chlorpromazine, and you see linden, again it is a pesticide. Okay, papain, which is a natural origin, it might be there. Chemically undefined, we have animal sources, even cockroaches are there. And food, you have different type: honey, flour, eggs. Coming to fruits and vegetables, eggplant, cauliflower. Okay, coming to grains, you have oats, rye, wheat, different types of meats are there. Since we have listed out fish also, nuts we have peanuts, certain people who are allergic to peanut also, and seafood like fish, spices are there, okay, which has been paprika is also mentioned, garlic is also mentioned, okay. Chemical under in continuation with this table 19.9, it's an extensive list, okay. We have vinyl pyridine, we have vanilla, we have salicylic acid, rifampicin, anti-tubercular drugs, proteases are there, certain enzymes are there, okay. Xylenase enzyme is there. Textile, plant wood, like we have chrysanthemum, tulip, cosmetics are there, henna, hair gel, nail polish, miscellaneous are also there. Okay, so try to remember this list. Maybe in the options you might get this list and ask you also which of the following might cause contact allergy. Then you have to remember. It might ask you with respect to type of hypersensitive reaction also. Hope from this video you were able to learn about contact urticaria extensively, what are the important pages which have been mentioned in the lesson, okay, and the mechanism, how the different steps are there, treatments are there about the contact area we have discussed. Thank you so much. Be curious. For any questions, you can always write mail to arya.priyanka18@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, and follow my YouTube channel, Toxicology on Board. All the best for your exam.